I look like a little Amish person. Hello. Last week, felt called to create something, something that not only I feel like will help me, but could also help others. I made affirmation posters, because I love putting them up all over my room. I feel like there is something so powerful and potent to seeing them visually on top of verbalizing them and writing them. I know everyone has their preference, but as I've gone along this journey, I found affirmations that really hit home for me. And I wanted to share them, not just with those that I care about, but also those that are going on their journey. These might hit home for someone. So I have them listed below in the description, so you can go ahead and check those out. Here's one. Here's an example. I am now on the royal road of success, happiness, and abundance. All traffic goes my way. And the craziest thing, this morning, every morning, traffic has been going our way because I drive to work with my brother. And he's like, I don't understand. Why is the traffic so good? In my head, I'm like, I have not shared, but this is the affirmation that was happening this week. That's so crazy. So I didn't mean to start off the video this way, but it looks like that's where I'm headed. So give me 1 second. Originally, I was going to start by sharing, does it matter what day of the week you create these affirmations on? And I guess it does matter. I guess it really does, because these affirmations that I wrote down, that I really worked with, and I don't say struggled with, but debated on putting up in my room, because I feel like your room is a very sacred space. It's something that you look at daily. It's something that you give a lot of energy to, and there's something very powerful to that. That's why I think it's amazing to put up stuff that really fuels you, encourages you, also embodies your creation. Even though I know some people say they aren't creative, I think that's BS. I think how you create your room could be creation. What you decide to put up is creation. So even though, like an example, I made this and I made this, that's because that lights me up. Some of you might get lit up by decorating certain decorations, having them and changing them around. Like, everyone is different. Everyone is creative. I know there are different ways of viewing creativity, but the most powerful thing I learned as someone who studied art and moved into massage therapy is everything in life is creation if you so choose to view it that way, which means everything in life is beautiful if you put the right mindset into it. And I wanted to put beauty into my room. I wanted to create something that would make me feel beautiful. So I've been going around and finding really pretty frames that match the aesthetic that I'm going for. And this is the first time in my life I've ever had an aesthetic, which is crazy to me. And not to say that it won't change, but it makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel encouraged on this journey. And it makes me really want to really embody this practice. And I guess that's really what I want to touch on, is embodying this practice. And there's different ways in which you can do that. And so the title of this video was, is there a specific day of the week in which it's best to create these affirmations? And I mean, write them down. Because what I have found on my journey, and not just when you create something, and I didn't know if I even wanted to talk about this, because I know some people may view it as something weird, something phony, but what I've come to realize, that everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration, and things of old really do track. And there's certain things that don't, there's certain things that do. So I really take my time to observe and see, is this truly in alignment with what I want? And what I want in my life is more truth. So if something isn't in alignment of truth, I find it tends to dissipate. It tends to liquidate. And that goes for practices that don't serve me anymore. And it's not that they aren't a part of the process. Thought forms, and not even thought forms, but lifestyles that I've had that may have served me and they no longer do. So it becomes this life learned lesson of what energy do I want to bring into my life? Because I've had energy that was not so great and energy that has been great. And so I've been able to see and experience good, bad, and the ugly. And when it came to the beginning of this year, I really started tapping into the days of the week. And it's interesting how each day of the week carries its own energy, carries its own frequency. And I want to state that everyone is affected differently, specifically by their astrology chart, what's going on collectively, and also what's being called forward for you to learn at this time. There are different energies, so knowing which days best serve you will take a little bit of time. And this is why I think it's really important. For me, I found that there were certain days that really supported writing and creating these videos, because I've just gotten into a flow of creating stuff that really works for me. But while I've been doing this journey of posting on YouTube, I've noticed that I've been called to switch up the days that I post, switch up the days for each specific post. When do I create the post? When do I take the time to write down the affirmations and really embody them? There's so many layers to this practice that I have found important to walk with. And so I'm going to take it back to what I do from the beginning to the very end, so you can understand what my steps are and you can follow them and then find the days of the week that work for you. So the first thing I do is I will dedicate time to listen to the Florence Scovel Shin, write down the affirmations, and I do them left-handed. I do them left-handed because this allows you to really embody that energy. I'll write them down once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then I'll move on to the next one. Repeat. And to be honest, all I do is one time, and I'm not every time do I do it with my left hand. I kind of feel into what I'm feeling in that moment, and I'll honor and respect that, because with this practice, we've gone through many different seasonal shifts, not only astrologically, but within the seasons itself. So different styles of embodiment have come and gone through this practice, though there is a streamline. It's I need to write down the affirmations, embody them, be with them. And then what I do next is I pick a day where I vocalize them, record them, and then I will create them, and then I post them. So that's about 4 different days. And usually I might combine some of them, but I have found the more I do it, the more I like having one sacred day for each act, because it's imbuing it with different energy. And I like to hyper focus my creative energy because that makes it more potent. It's like steeping something in tea. If you leave it in for a minute, it's not going to be that good. But if you leave it in for 20, it's going to be amazing. A lot more potent. You're going to get a lot more from it. And so each day is like letting your tea steep for about 20 minutes. And it helps you to focus your energy into what you're creating. So it makes it more imbued with that positivity. At least that's how I feel, because the more I do it mindfully, the less anxious I feel, which means less fear and anxiety I'm bringing into my practice in general, which means the final product, when I post it, it's imbued with peace, love, joy, and harmony, which means not only do I get it, but anyone else who listens to it gets that as well. And that's the end goal. And that's why I think it's really important to think about, okay, when am I taking time to block out sacred time to do this practice? Am I finding a flow that works for me? Because I am posting on YouTube, I am doing a day of writing, a day of verbalizing, a day of creating, and a day of posting. And so for me, this really feels empowering. And not only just the creation of the affirmation videos, but I'm also creating these videos right here as well. So that's part of my process too. So I've had to find, okay, what's a good day for me to speak on this stuff? What's a good day for me to, show up and be present, fully expansive with all of you? Because that's really what I want to share, is this possibility of being so much more than you could have ever imagined. And for me, I'm finding the right days. And I had to fumble through it. I had to figure it out. And again, the days that work for me may not work for you, because we are all different. We are also in different parts of our journeys. And so you have to honor what works for you, but you won't know until you take the time to do so. And I've been doing this practice for about 8 months. And that's why I feel I've really been able to tap into not only what style of affirmations work for me, but what vehicle it comes through, and also how often I do it, when I do it. I'm no longer so rigid around my practice because I trust myself to show up no matter what. I know that my intuition will tell me, hey, you need to listen to these affirmations. Hey, this isn't a good time because you're trying to force it. Hey, oh, you haven't done it yet. Here's a reminder, just make some time. Love this practice. It's really tapped me into this space of ownership. And when I say ownership, what works for me, I feel like we get so tapped into self-doubt that we will look to everyone else but ourselves. And I wanted to create this not so you could follow everything that I do. And if what I'm doing is what lights you up, then sure, go for it. Because I know some people do like to follow, and in following, that's when they find, ooh, this is what really lights me up. Ooh, this is what helped me. And there's nothing wrong with following other people. There's so many different styles that I've tried until I found, what worked for me. I did research, and you will never know if something works for you until you try it on. The whole point and picture I'm trying to paint here is how you are a diverse being, and learning what supports you is going to be very helpful. And that's why creating with intention is really important. And that's why I love creating with the days, because there are different energies. I subscribe to astrology and the energetic shifts that we go through. And this whole season, I've really tapped in and was like, show me the energies of the week. And I've been able to see all of them very distinctly, especially working in an office environment. And it reminds me of when I did massage, people were so unaware of the astrological shifts and events, but I was attuned to it, and I would massage people and they would have all of the same aches and pains. And it had to do with the astrological season that we were experiencing at this time, or at that time. These people had no connection whatsoever, which was crazy. So what I'm finding is throughout the different days of the week, there are certain energies that come up. So there's energies that support you and energies that can hinder you. And if you know this, that is how you can work with stuff to your benefit, or also where you can understand where some of your shortcomings may be. And so you can bolster and support yourself so you can make it through those quote unquote more difficult times. An example is Mars days are a little more intense for me because I have a very fiery personality, but so do others, which means it's a great day to do personal tasks and not work with others, because that's when I'll tend to get into greater conflict. I also have to realize that other people are subconsciously going to want to fight more. So it's better for me not to engage and to mentally do certain type of works beforehand, so I'm not as easily triggered. And I'm sharing this because Mars for me is not a good day to create posts. It's a good day to be proactive, but I'm finding it's not good to be proactive in my personal life and business. It's good when I'm supporting other people, not myself, or because my job, yes, I'm supporting myself in a certain degree, but I really am supporting the owner of that business and the energy that goes into that vehicle. And I like being really proactive on those days. That's where I can think more logically as someone who's ADHD. So there's certain things where I'm like, this is my productive day. I'm just learning to delegate what works best for each and every day. Obviously, I can't control everything, but it's good just to have it in the background and understand, hey, this is how I'm affected by these days. This is the energy that I tend to bring in on X, Y, and Z. So now that I've observed that, how can I utilize this in my business? And that's where I started utilizing it in the creation of these affirmations, because affirmations are really important, but they're not just the words, they are the words that you are creating. So the fact that I'm literally creating videos around affirmations and words, I knew that there's an importance to it. And I didn't realize when I was starting my journey that the days of the weeks would coincide and correlate to what I'm doing now. But that's what I've learned as someone who's intuitive. You have to trust your intuition, because it'll always come up at some point down the road for a purpose, even if it makes no fucking sense at the time. But it makes a whole lot of fucking sense now, and I'm so grateful that I listened. So if you have wanted to start looking at the days of the week, I 100% encourage to do it. It's been such a game changer. And it's also just a beautiful way to learn not only about the world around you, but more about yourself. Because again, we all are so different, and what may react positively for you may react differently for someone else. It just depends on where someone's at, how conscious they are of the world around them, and what they are choosing to, I wouldn't say subscribe to, because I think everyone has a gift and I can learn a lot from everyone around me. For me, the biggest thing about the days of the week is learning how they affect me, so I can show up as a better person and I can contribute more on a deeper level. It's not even just about my business, it's about how I contribute to myself personally, and also how I can contribute to my business within the energetic collective sphere at this current time. So I hope that this video was encouraging, inspiring, and kind of maybe lit up something in your brain of like, yeah, I'd like to learn more about this. I'd like to explore. So get on your Google and go do that, because it was so good. And I hope that, you know, the right things find you. And I love Googlemancy. It's when you trust that when you go through Google, you'll scroll until you find something that lights you up. And I love that, because I think there's so many beautiful outlets. And whenever I'm searching for something new, yes, I will use some AI stuff, but I also like to go back old school and scroll through different websites until my soul's like, ooh, that's the one I want to read. This is important for me on my journey now. So just want to throw that out there. If you want to start doing your research, please go and do it. It's definitely worth it. But just be mindful that everything you do is connected to creation. So you want to ask yourself, what is the energy that I'm bringing into that creation? And understanding the days of the week will support you in knowing what energy is highlighted in that day, and also how you are affected by that day, what days of the week tend to work for you, and how can you capitalize on that. So that's where I'm going to leave us this week. I hope you have an amazing day, evening, wherever you are in the world. And again, if you would like to check out the affirmation posters that I've created, I'm going to link them down in the description below so you can go check those out. Hope you have a good week, and we'll see you in the next video.